because Egyptian hotels are now allowed to partially resume operations amid the impact of COVID-19 global pandemic. A 25% occupancy rate is being initiated for the hospitality industry, which is also open to only local residents. The move is aimed at mitigating economic pressure on affected businesses as government is unable to sustain long-term assistance for them. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Primarily projected to be the best year in tourism revenues, under the pandemic 2020 could now be the worst. Tourists have initially started to book trips in November. Until they arrive, the government has decided to reopen hotels for locals.
The government prohibited layoffs of hotels and tour operators on the condition that it will pay for that cost. The country is capable of paying for a month or two, but what if the pandemic lasts longer? That is why we move towards partial resumption of hotels and operations.
Hotels will be restricted to a 25% occupancy rate. Visitors will not be allowed to cluster, so open buffets, nightclubs or entertainment activities will not be allowed.
It is not enough. The hotel will be burdened with overheads and fixed costs. When the feasibility study is made for the hotels, we put a risk factor, and that brings their break-even at 60% occupancy, so 25% is unreal. But it's better than nothing, and it's also an opportunity for the staff to get trained.
In addition, hotels must hire a full-time medical staff trained for COVID-19. Rapid tests must be available, and disinfection measures to people and facilities will take place on hourly basis.
I would have wished that the opening of the hotels would be implemented after we have formed a detailed procedures manual that would dictate what will the receptionists do, how will the housekeeping work, how will we manage the public spaces, will pools be working or not.
The government is still working to draft the regulations guidelines for operation while COVID-19 threats persist. Hotels interested in taking these additional necessities can apply to join this partial reopening program. With a 25% occupancy rate ceiling, additional hygienic and preventive measures, running costs for hotels are going to be phenomenal. So instead of offering price cuts to attract clients, many may need to increase them, which will be a challenge to appeal to local visitors who have been suffering from the recession COVID-19 caused.